God.
Family.
Family. Survival.
Survival. Big Cat just wanted us to pay a little visit.
Leave him alone!
Hi, Scott. How are you doing, sir? Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too. Thank you, Howard.
First, congratulations on the movie. I've just watched it. I watched it a second time yesterday just to catch myself up a little bit. It's fantastic. So thanks very much for that. Yeah, I enjoyed it to bits. So first of all, could you kind of set the scene for people who haven't seen the movie yet? So you play the brother-in-law of Orlando Bloom's character Cash, but without giving too much away, can you explain a little bit, set the scene, kind of exactly what he's going through at the point that we meet him in the film?
Unmanageability and powerlessness over alcohol. It's he's in full-blown addiction, and it's something I think is going on in our country everywhere right now. It's like the #1 cause of death pretty much is overdose under 35 or something. It's horrendous, and he's in the midst of a horrendous alcoholic downward spiral, and I think that that's kind of relatable a lot in our country right now.
Mm-hmm. I think it was beautifully the idea of your character was beautifully told, especially when the kind of religion was there at your grasp kind of throughout the film, but without getting over preachy. Was that something that you talked a lot with the directors to kind of just get the right balance?
That's something I just trusted the directors, that they were gonna find that balance. You know, it's not something I concerned myself with personally, but
Right.
they did a good job. I watched the film last night for the first time, and I was really impressed with how the brothers handled that.
Are you one that, after me mentioning that, are you one that enjoys watching yourself? Because a lot of actors, they tend to kind of prefer not seeing themselves on the screen because they like to do the job and then kind of forget it.
This was one I wanted, I knew that I would be talking about the movie today.
Right.
And it depends on the filming experience, to be honest with you. Some of the movies I'm just grateful to be part of, and then because it was a fun experience. And some movies I was like, oh my gosh, that was such a hard, and it's just hard to watch. I played a lot of intense roles where like if I watch Antlers, that was the movie I didn't eat for 5 months to prepare for.
Right.
And I just I get hungry. I get hungry when I look at myself in that movie. Yeah.
Well, as long as you don't want to reach for a drink while you're watching this one.
Good point. Good point.
Brilliant. But also, I mean, obviously you play I won't give too much away, but you've got a daughter in this film who's also fantastic, but she plays a role that I didn't expect it to go quite as far down the rabbit hole with her as it did towards the end. I was just speaking to the directors, and kind of she really gets down and dirty with the rest of you, which was something I didn't expect. How did you kind of prepare that with her? Because she's quite young to get into those kind of scenes.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff where she goes off, and I don't want to spoil it, whatever the journey she takes, I didn't get to see per se.
Right.
But I know that when I met the actress Chapel Oaks, I was blown away by how smart and she was so intelligent, so passionate and new. And I'm excited to see where her career goes. I think she's got a bright future for sure.
Oh yeah, she's fantastic in the movie. Obviously, we can't not speak about Orlando Bloom, who plays your brother-in-law in the film, as I said before. What was it like? I mean, because you obviously had to create his history, because it was kind of like he was your estranged brother-in-law, but there's obviously this backstory that you got to create. Was that something that was in the script, or did Orlando and yourself kind of create some kind of backstory there to help you when you got onto set?
Well, there's the script provided the skeleton for that relationship to be built around, and I think Orlando and I then fleshed it out. When we met, we talked, we had a lot of rehearsals together, just hanging together, getting to know each other, and I think that we really did become like half brothers. Yeah, it was pretty intense. Yeah. I want to say brothers, but because we went through it on that movie. I think that the brothers in the script and everybody involved, the blueprint was there. We both loved this woman who passed, his sister and my wife, and it's heartbreaking.
Definitely. I mean, obviously for you it's easy, but I imagine that it must have been. Was there anything that Orlando came to you for help? Because obviously you had to get the dialect right and all these kind of things. Did you help prepare with that? Because I mean, I know that there's a lot of English actors that have taken over Hollywood, and people don't even realize that they're English because they're so good at it. But did you help him to kind of immerse himself in this role to get into kind of the lifestyle of the people that live in this kind of a town?
I would like to take credit for anything, anything ever, but no, that was all Orlando.
Yeah.
You know, we all have our different processes. I went to the city like about a month before to find my accent. I found some locals and I would go into these bars and I would offer to buy them a drink if they'd come to my car. I thought they thought I was hitting on them, but I was like, no, I want to record your voice, and they didn't understand what was going on. And that's how I found mine. And then I heard Orlando's, and you know, in that part of the country, they call them hollers. So every holler has a different twang or something like that. And when I heard Orlando, I was really impressed, because when you hear him speak as Orlando, it's quite different. So he put a lot of work into that, and I think it paid off.
Oh, you said Orlando put in a lot of work, but obviously you've put in a lot of work of yourself, a lot of work in yourself. You said there that you went to bars. Was that specifically for the dialect, or did you try and find characters to kind of hone, kind of find just the right kind of personality for your character, or were you trying to find people with stories to maybe to help bring it into your role?
Yeah, for sure. That's, you know, that's one of my favorite things is the prep, is going into new cities that I have to live in. And I think the only way for me to do it is if I have the time, is to go there and I just immerse myself in it. That's just my process. Not everybody's different. And it's not that way for every film. Like for Venom, I didn't go live in San Francisco, which is where,
Yeah.
you know, like, you know what I mean? Like but movies like this, where you have had a little bit more time and it is very geographically influenced, I try to get there and try to do as much as I can, meet locals, and yeah, of course, you pick up tons of stuff, you know. Just
So
hang
I mean, that stuff. Sorry to interrupt you, but just kind of the stuff that you picked up. Was there anything that you went to the directors and said, "Hey, do you think this would be something that would kind of work that wasn't in the script originally?"
um yeah, there's a lot of those little moments. There's yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, how do I say this? Alcoholism is pretty universal, but it shows up in the South in a different way. It's not always a mean drunk. You know, I know a lot of Southern alcoholics, if you will, when I was doing my research, who are the most charming guys in the world. They're really sweet, they're lovely. And I think Finney is that. I think Finney doesn't want to be, and most alcoholics don't want to be in their addiction. That's the only way they can cope, and alcohol is the solution. And that's why when people get in recovery and they find other solutions, that it replaces the alcohol. But in that moment, alcohol is probably what kept Finney alive rather than killing himself. You know, it was the solution in that moment.
Well, yeah. I wasn't expecting you to go. I mean, it really hits hard, the film. I didn't expect you would have gone out to kind of just on your own into bars and just sort of speak to people without even knowing them. Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
it could be dangerous. I mean, obviously you said that most people are charming, but you never know what you might find out there.
Well, when I go to the bars, I don't drink. You know, so I keep my head on my shoulders,
Yeah.
and you know, and I had a local kind of person associated with the movie with me, so
Right.
he kind of told me where to go. I wasn't just walking into some moonshine parlors. That's funny.
Brilliant. Someone that we've got to talk about, obviously, is Big Cat. I haven't. I mean, that she obviously must have done her homework as well, because I've never seen her like that in any other role before. I mean, obviously, you don't get to share. I don't know if you did. You share any scenes with her? I can't remember now
No, no scenes with
specifically. No, but
no.
I mean, you must have been on set with her. I mean, what kind of homework did you see her go into to get into this character? Because I was speaking to the director as well, that she was really jumped on board because she wanted to get into this character that she's never kind of approached anything like this before either.
I met Andie on Only the Brave. We did a movie, I
Right.
think in 2016 or 17. We both had small roles in that film. And I remember seeing her there. And when I did see her, we didn't have any scenes together. I knew that she was so dropped in and she was doing something new and fresh. And nobody'd seen this version of Andie MacDowell. And that was exciting to me, to see that in person and to see what she did in this. You know, as an actor, I'm not on set for those other scenes. So you know, it's a really fun experience to see, wow, that's what you were going off to do. And she killed it. She's
She
phenomenal.
nailed it. Yeah, she's fantastic in it. Yeah, I'm saying it's like a predominantly male film, apart from your daughter and Big Cat. So yeah, I mean, I mean, you're great as well, obviously, but they really dominated their scenes as well. So much
Yeah,
more so. Yeah,
definitely.
fantastic. So listen, just before I go, obviously it's you dive right into your character, like you were saying. Even with in Venom, obviously you didn't dive into kind of living in San Francisco, or whatever, but you really dive into each character. So it's obvious that you kind of your criteria for picking roles is very much kind of specifically to find something that kind of resonates with you. So what have you got anything planned that you can tell us about? And I imagine that's something that's kind of very close to you, because the projects that you pick up, even small parts like in Venom, you obviously take very much to heart, no?
Yeah, I'm putting a movie together right now. I'm working with David Mamet, and I'm excited about that. I can't really say much about it, but the film I'm the most excited about that's upcoming is I did these movies with Kevin Costner called Horizon.
Right. Yeah.
And Kevin was somebody I always looked up to when I was back in Dallas, dreaming about being an actor. And so when he called me and asked me if I'd join him and tell him this, his lifelong passion was to tell these stories. So it's the greatest honor, and I can't wait for people to experience Horizon. And we released those movies this summer. So that's that Horizon is on the horizon, if you will.
Right.
I'm sure everybody's
Fantastic.
got to play. That's like everybody's probably going to say that, but that's the truth.
Brilliant. Scott, listen, thank you so much. A fantastic performance. I can't wait for people to see the film. And I hope to speak to you again sometime soon. I wish you the best with Horizon as well when it comes out.
Howard, thank you for your time. Great to meet you.
No,
today.
thank you. Thank you so much. All right, take care of yourself. Have a good day. Cheers now. Bye now.
Make a show of it.
All right, boys. For God. Let's go, kid! For family. And survival.